You're listening to the Backlog Podcast with host Kevin Lane and Joel Rubel, bringing you weekly discussions on gaming, as well as sports, entertainment, and anything else that they can think of.
Something wrong with me, man.
Be sure to check us out online at thebacklogpod.com, where you can listen to the podcast and get links to Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe.
And this is
the Backlog
Podcast.
Yeah!
Now, gear up and get ready, because we're about to check another one off of the Backlog.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 55. That's 55. I am alive. 55. Who's driving 55?
Nobody. What speed limit is that?
That's a bullshit speed limit, man. Hey, it is May 19th. We're going to be recording this, posting it up tonight, having it out there for y'all Monday, May 20th. And yeah, this is a big one, man. Episode 55. Every time we hit a little, something that rhymes with another number or another cool thing, there's a reason to celebrate, It's another episode. And this time we're not exposed, just like last time. We are the Backlog Podcast. We have been putting a lot of fucking time and effort and, research, all that sorts of stuff on the back end. And, if you've been to Joe's channel, you'll see it's growing. He's growing on Twitch. And we've been putting some tweaking. You might not notice it, but if you go to the website, thebacklogpod.com, we're adding more resources. We're adding more links and things like that. Little tweaks. A lot of this stuff you won't even recognize, but it's just quality of life type stuff. And Joe, what do you... we had a pretty interesting episode last week. What do you think of The Spy, now that we've had some time to digest?
Nah, man, I think he'll be all right. I don't know. He adds a different layer to the cake, man. I don't know if I don't know who he is. And that's what makes it funny is, hey, girl, she's so dumb. Where can I trade in a used wife? Does anybody know? Because I'm telling you. Give me the address, and I'm going to drop her off.
I guarantee there's a website for that.
I guarantee there's someone. So whoever is listening to the podcast, used wife trade in, hit me up. I appreciate it. But no, man, he's I like him. I like the ability that we don't know who the hell he is.
Yeah,
that's why it's awesome.
Sorry, that was a super delayed. It took a while to open up. That was for your wife there. The yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, we can adjust it. But yeah, I mean, he is a legit fighter. He's ready to go for our podcast because
I'm going to tell you,
his reviews are badass. I mean, the dude actually puts the time in, time that honestly I don't have. I can't sit there and write, and I'm not the one to play a game for 25 hours. That sucks. Let me tell you right now. Me and Adam bought what was the game we just bought that we played for like 5 minutes? What was that game that just came out? Anthem. We bought Anthem, played it for 3 hours. That game was shit. I am not putting 22 more hours in that game.
No.
You know what I mean?
And for those who weren't familiar with last episode or maybe didn't quite understand what the hell was going on, Joe ran into a guy online on Reddit who had done a review. And he called himself...
so basically on Reddit, I posted a little blurb about World War Z. Because me and Kevin have been playing that for a little bit. And that game's actually fun. I mean, it's got some potential. If they would just change, movement speed, balance the weapons out a little bit. And
which,
honestly,
to be fair, we could jump back in and see what they've done differently. See if they've done anything different.
I'm sure they've been an update by now. But anyway, I just posted, I wasn't really trying to get nobody's attention or, I go on Reddit and I just throw up some stuff every now and then just to see who else on there. And he ended up hitting me back with a message basically saying, here's my review of World War Z. And he gave me a little link and I looked at it and I was like, I thought, honestly, it was a link from like IGN or somewhere else. And he was trying to like persuade my, decision making on the game. And then I asked him, I was like, did you write that? He was like, yeah. And I was like, holy shit. Then he gave me another link to his actual page and the rest of his stuff that he wrote. So I like what he does.
Yeah, I like the way he writes. He's obviously, like Joe said, putting so much time and effort into it. But the key factor here is
We done fucked up making video, bro.
I
I'm
know.
telling you.
Side note, we're working on our video, sharing our video screens, and uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know if I want to know. We're sharing our video screens, and we're going to be, hopefully next week, maybe the week after, we're going to figure it out, but we're going to be doing live Twitch podcasting, and it's going to start off slow. We neither one of us have a large audience yet, but we're putting the time in to make that happen. And I mean, Joe looked today, saw I have I'm only at 1,100. So
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like,
no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. We're getting there, but I've put some filters on the page so it still looks like I'm just a nobody. I don't want anyone to recognize really what's going on and how we're growing fast. And so I'm keeping the numbers looking low on purpose, and we're just gonna ride with it. Yeah. So but going back to the spy, so yeah, he's got this style that's different, something that we've both been thinking about for some time with reviews and how do you do it right. And I don't, not every review is going to be a 1 through 10 or something. This is the details that you need to know. Is this game good or not? Is it going to be something I like or not? And he has this 1,000-point scoring system that, if the game costs $60, you're losing points regardless, just based off of this system. And then
that's what I like, though, is the fact that he actually incorporates the price, because a lot of these people don't do that. They'll just say, it goes back to the fact that you can't compare God of War to
Super Meat Boy.
Batman.
Yeah.
Or that other stupid game. You can't do that. You gotta put games in the same category. Fortnite, PUBG, those are all the same type of games. Even though there's different aspects, the same thing as Battle Royale.
Yeah, I mean, if you take Fortnite and PUBG, you put them on the same table. Well, Fortnite starts off with points, 150 points, because it's free. PUBG starts off with negative 300 points on his system because it costs $60 or whatever the fuck. And so, right there, if price is a factor. Now, he also adds in the idea and the concept that price doesn't, this is a template. You're welcome to change that template. You're welcome to take the template, and if price doesn't matter to you, you can take, and give your own set of points and all that. He's just providing a way to look at things a little differently, and we love that about him, and we've been in constant contact. I mean, the guy is not just dipping in and out. We're talking to him. He's now an active member in our Discord and our admin section.
If I picked up my phone right now and sent a message on Discord, I guarantee you within 10, 15 minutes he'd hit me back with something.
Yeah, and the sad part is we don't have a fucking clue what time zone this guy lives in. I tried to get that out of him to be like, we're East Coast, EST. What time's best for you? And he's just like, whenever. He really truly wants to stay anonymous.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, and so we're digging it. It's obviously a little nerve-wracking just because, what if it's Vladimir Putin himself? What if it's Baron Trump or Chelsea Clinton? I mean, then we're getting ourselves into some hot water. I mean, someone out there is going to have a problem with it. So, no, but that all being said, we're having a lot of fun with it. And the one thing it does give both of us is confidence in the fact that now we have on our website a true method and something that people are going to come to. And whether, again, none of our stuff is super popular, right? So it's growing. We're putting time, money into it. And so as people look back and they're going to start seeing, oh, look at these fucking reviews. This is a good site to go get my information from. Who are these guys? Oh, listen to this podcast. They provide quality content. And so, and that's where we're building the blocks. Joe and I have put a year into this, and it truly does kind of feel like we're just getting started, in a lot of ways. We say that every week, but you have to understand the stuff that's going in behind the scenes. And like this guy that I'm seeing on the screen right now, one of the things he's done is gone through actual video game sniper rifle training. And so,
hey man, that last video,
that video, I got a comment on that video, man. You don't even have to watch the video. You just listen to it and you'll understand what the hell's going on. But man, those shots. Seriously.
It was stupid. Adam,
walk us through it a little bit.
Oh my God. Yeah, oh my God.
That's what I tweeted out. Oh my God.
His country ass. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You know Joe is doing some stupid sniping when he can't even hold himself together in the middle of a fucking game. He's laughing so hard. Like, did you see that fucking bitch?
Well, the first one, on that video, I sniped the guy out of the truck. I've never done that. I was like, holy shit, I sniped him out of the truck. But what's funny is, I downed a guy behind the rock, and they threw a smoke grenade down, and I was like, oh, that sucks. So I went across the field a little bit, and as the guy was picked up, he ran out from behind the rock, and I sniped him again. So that dude is pissed.
Oh, yeah. So,
oh, man.
So obviously Joe's been playing some Blackout. We finally got him back into some Fortnite. We've had a lot of fun with that this last week. Yes. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about that because we really haven't dove into Fortnite in quite some time. Two reasons I want to jump into this a little bit is, one, we've been working with the Fortnite podcast. I've been in contact with Troy from over there, and we've mentioned it a couple times. You have to understand, these guys are busy. I mean, the Fortnite's the biggest fucking game ever, right? And they are, they're not truly, but they're pretty much the official podcast of Fortnite. There's a bunch out there, but there's none that are as professional and as close to Fortnite as these guys. Monster D-Face works with Epic to do casting for it, and right now it's the World Cup. So these last 5 weeks, he's been out there going to events. It's getting in the way of their ability to produce their podcast, so he doesn't have time to jump onto ours if he can't even do his own. That being said, he's still trying to work a time, still trying to figure it out, and I think during the World Cup, or as the World Cup's going, is a perfect time. Our audience isn't as invested as Fortnite as his audience is. And now with Joe picking up the paddle and playing a little bit more, it makes sense to bring some outside influence into this podcast.
You're old when you said paddle. Just gonna throw that out there, bro. You said paddle.
I did.
Holy shit.
I meant it though. I meant that paddle, man.
You said paddle.
Fucking Atari paddle. But yeah,
I'm down though. I did pick up the paddle. You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, you pick up the paddle and you get back in the game, and he's back on that horse. But the cool thing that I've been talking with Joe, and Joe's been talking with me about some ideas that we have for the show. We're a backlog show, right? We do come in and talk about the games we're playing right now. We also talk about what's on the backlog, but we want to bring in some, I don't know if the term expert is the right term, but like people from these outside areas that know a bit more about the community than we do as it stands right now. For example, our partners and friends over at the Play PSVR, we're gonna get them on. We'll get the Kentucky Adam over there, get him on here so him and Joe can riff on us, me and Alex. But get them both on the podcast. Have Joe and I on here and let them tell you all the state of VR because they're in it every day. Get Troy on to talk about Fortnite and tell everybody, the excitement. Why should you get back into Fortnite? Like, not necessarily a sales pitch, but these guys live and breathe it, and they love it. And so Joe's also got, Joe, you have, what's the guy with the, you have on tap, couple of people, but that you're looking and interested to get into the podcast. Who
Playbuds, he wants to come on. I talked to him about it. He has grips for the PS4, Xbox One, and I believe the Nintendo Switch. It's basically grip extenders. I have a set of them. They're actually pretty awesome.
Yep. And so
all it does is connect to the bottom of your controller, and it pushes back, and it gives you like where your pinky and ring finger kind of like don't have anywhere to hold on to, so you push them all the way up, and they're kind of cramped. You can actually hold those back off onto the grip extender, so they're actually pretty nice. I told him, or I asked him if he wanted to get involved and have a podcast, and he said he'd be down. So
yeah, and then we got IGDB, Internet Game Database. I found this site a couple weeks ago. I've been looking for ways to track my backlog, and I run it on all through my own Excel document, but just happened by chance to come across this site, and it's phenomenal. I mean, I really love it, and I'm as close to saying that it's the official backlog of the backlog. I've put it on our website, and so it does take some time, right? Joe's got to go in and build up his backlog, but rather if you can do it on this manageable site that has an app. He's working on the app. It's the team of creators. It's a free app. There's no ads, and you got a team of people who are doing a hell of a job putting together basically the IMDb version of video games. When you go into a game's profile, you see the date it was released, the publisher, the voice actors involved. You get all the details of the game. And then you can add it to your list. You can build multiple lists. And so, Joe, have you gone in yet? Really kind of looked around there, and what do you think if you have?
I haven't run out too much. I know what you're talking about those. We looked at it a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
I think it's cool, man, because the fact that I collect a lot of video games. I have
you do.
well over 200, close to 300 by now. And I remember when it's been probably about 2 years ago, before I picked up an iPhone, I had an Android, and there was an app that I downloaded, and basically you could go in there and take pictures of the game itself, and it would pull up from a database everything that you had in your backlog or in your collection itself. And ever since I got an iPhone, they don't have an app for that, which is strange. Yep. I've looked everywhere for that app to get back, because not only does it tell you everything about the game, it also tells you how much it's worth and everything like that. But an app like that or a website like that would be perfect for people that's got like you got 100+ games to
100+.
try and figure out to play.
I'm at 204.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you need something to categorize everything, and
I was talking.
It is worth looking at.
I was talking to my buddy Nick, and my friend Nick is an Xbox guy, and he was probably the primary person I played with last generation on the 360. I mean, I had Jed and a couple of other people, but Nick is one of those guys, man. It's like we jumped into Call of Duty, we'd be playing Modern Warfare 2 and any of those games, and it was almost without fail every single day we'd be playing a game together. And so since the PlayStation 4 came out, I haven't touched the Xbox 360 and haven't been playing with Nick much, but he's a big time. What's that car game, Joe? The one with the soccer and the cars. I can't never.
Oh, Rocket League.
Rocket League. So he's almost at a level. He's not there yet, but he's almost at a level where he's getting into competitive Rocket League. And just like I get into the competitive Fortnite, and I can sit there and watch Fortnite. He'll sit there and watch players play Rocket League. And he was telling me,
that game is fun to watch. It's just hard to fucking play.
Hard to play. So he's sending me clips and stuff, and I asked him, so Nick, you coming to the PlayStation 5 next generation, or are you staying with the Xbox? And he said he pulled up his screen, or he took a picture of his screen, and it showed his library, and it had 203 games at the bottom of it. Like, that's how many games he's got to play. He's like, no, my library is way too big. And I just started laughing because I just had installed a game. It was Days Gone, and it's 204. And I was like, we had the same number, and I just crossed over. So shout out to Nick. I think he listens, and we got to get him on. He's a dad just like us, man. Gamer for life, and he'd be a good time. So a couple of other people. And
hey,
Joe,
man, talking about Fortnite, though, the reason I got back into that is I got a couple guys on Twitter. They go by King. I think it's King Boober and his son or some cousin or something like that. Whatever it is, they're relatives and they play a lot together.
You can't forget that name, Boober, man. That's a cool name.
It is, dude. It's awesome. But I text him on Twitter quite often. I just talked to him the other day. It's King Boober and Bros. So they're always posting clips and all kinds of stuff, man. Yeah. And a lot of his videos are the new LTM mode where it's to 150 kills and you keep respawning and stuff like that. So it's not your original Fortnite. It's team deathmatch, and it's first team to 150 kills. It's 20 versus 20. It's super hectic. I mean, I think you have like 5 minutes to loot up, and then you go to the circle, and it's just mayhem. And I was playing with the kids, and I ended up getting like 4 or 5 kills my first game. My daughter, she's 12, she had like 10. My son's 6, he had like 12. And I was just like, what the hell? How do these kids beat me like this? So I kept playing, and finally, I think as a team we had 31 kills.
Jeez.
Me and my 2 kids. So, it's fun. And I don't find myself getting mad because, there's not much. You don't really build. There's not much building in this one.
Well, with all the
you can build a bunch of
transportation,
structures, but people just keep flying in, and
you
gotta continuously move.
You must feel like when you left the game, or really kind of just, I think it was October. I mean, once Call of Duty came out, you were like, I'm done. Since then, they've gone through multiple sets of vehicles that have since been retired, like airplane, all sorts of. I know you followed because your kids were playing and stuff, but like that must feel like.
I sit there and watched every evolution of Fortnite from October to May, and everything that happened. My kids showed me that my kids have videos and all of this. It's just.
But it's like when you look at the game that we played, as compared to the game that's out there now. I remember Jed just saying because when you're not good or when you're not, I don't know what the right word is, because Jed's not bad, right? But at the same time, he's not interested in the building. And so every interaction is a possible death. And if you're not keeping up with the building, it's a probable death, right? At least in the older days. And so he felt like you go loot up, you run around for 20 minutes, and then you die. And a lot of the game is spent running. Well, now there's 85,000 different ways to transport yourself from one end of the map to the next, from rifts to, there's so many different things. So it has
Well,
changed.
they got that new thing now where you can jump in the tunnel or whatever it is, and
which is pretty interesting in itself. I mean, at first I was like, oh, it's a gimmick, but if you've eliminated I guess the data is probably telling the creators of Fortnite, the Epic Games, that mobility is a primary focal point for the reason people stop playing. And so increasing the mobility is going to retain players. I mean, that's obvious. That seems like an obvious because they're constantly working on the mobility. And the focal point of building has to be lessened. It's probably still their primary thing, but by increasing the mobility, there's less of a focal point on the building and there's more of a focal point on the shooting. If someone's moving, you have to be better at aiming, not necessarily better at building. And if they're flying across the sky or going down a tunnel, an air tunnel, you can still pick them off. And that's why players like Tfue, who have both the accuracy and the building, are so dangerous. But it also gives you and me and everybody else a little bit more of a chance to play against those same people. I'm still talking about, they gave us the controller edit configuration. Someone posted an amazing concept online that you have 5 sections on the bottom of your channel, or the bottom of your Fortnite thing. You have position 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? It's where your guns go, and then you switch over and you have your build menu. So your controller, right now, they're on like combat or whatever, to get from one gun to the next, you hit L1 or R1, and it just goes position to position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, but depending on which direction. Well, if holding down L1 for like 2 seconds gives you position 1, tapping L1 gives you position 2, tapping L1 and R1 at the same time gives you position 3, tapping R1 gives you position 4, and holding R1 for 1 to 2 seconds gives you position 5. Now you have instant access to all 5 positions. And generally speaking, 2 of those positions are something that holding a button down wouldn't be that big of a deal, like a potion. So switching to your potion and hitting that, you might have to have a moment delay. But if you need to get to your fucking best gun, boom, you're there. And that's my biggest problem, is being able to instantly get to the gun or whatever I want. 90% of the time, I'm running around with my pickaxe like an idiot, and then someone comes at me, and I switch to build, I come out of build, and I'm at pickaxe. And then I gotta switch from pickaxe, oh, well now I'm on my potion, and I go to fire, and I'm trying to drink a potion, and I'm dead at that point. Whereas in keyboard, they muscle memory, they train themselves to be able to go, oh, someone's coming at me, wall, gun, fire, now they're dead, and I'm safe.
Yeah, that's just one thing about the controller, though, man. There's only so much excuse me, only so much you can do. I mean,
well,
hot keys
use a
and
Steam
stuff is gonna work.
Use a Steam controller, because a Steam controller, every position. So, and I'm showing Joe on the screen here, but rather than have up, down, left, right, it's a dial pad. It's a complete circle, right? And every position on that circle is programmable. So you can be like, I want up this way to be my keyboard button C, and I want this to be D. And so, like, it's a different way of thinking, but the whole thing's a fucking keyboard in your hand, and you can control it. One button can be a shift key, and so you can configure the whole thing just like you configure your keyboard. The problem is it didn't take off. It didn't get the mainstream level that it needed, and it didn't change a thing. I really do hope that Fortnite integrates some type of pressure, because that's the other thing too. Every button on the controller, on the Steam controller, has different things for holding down, tapping, double clicking. So if you double click the triangle button, you get whatever you want. You can program a double click or a single click or a triple click. there's so much customization or whatever the right word is. But two things on the stuff we were talking about prior to that, Joe, about like guests and the idea of getting people on. We've been talking again about a lot of different things and bringing in different topics. Well, I've got the FitXR, one of the developers of FitXR, that created a game called BoxVR, and I got a promo code for us to do a giveaway, and I'm writing up a review. I'm going to be playing that. It's Beat Saber, but boxing. So instead of using swords, you got balls coming at you, right? You're used to that, so you'd be pretty good at this.
I am used to that.
And
balls at my face. Just kidding. Just kidding, audiences. I do not like balls at my face.
I'm not fast enough with my new.
What's that?
I said I'm not fast enough with my new.
I like this blue ball. It's nice, man. Yeah, you missed that one. You have to wait to the next episode.
The next episode of balls to the face, but
that's right.
So but yeah, no, the balls are coming at you, right? And they have two different colors, the red and the blue. And so right or left, munch on those balls, right? And then you give the left, just like in Beat Saber, they have directional. And so you can do the uppercut, the left hook, the right hook. But the key here is that this is a fitness game. It is marketed as a fitness game. It's not just a fun game, which it is fun. It looks fun and has good music.
So it's like the Wii Fit, except on steroids.
Correct. And so they've provided me with a study that was done and conducted on the amount of calories that you can burn with the VR headset and the different types of games and how this particular game burns a lot of calories. And so we're going to get into that a little bit more. And like I said, he gave us a code and we're going to do a giveaway. I'm going to talk to Joe about how we're going to do that giveaway, but I have a feeling it's going to be on Instagram. We've been doing a lot of Twitter and Instagram. And I'll tell you, I don't know if it's just that all you Instagram people out there are
I think Instagram is, I don't know, man. Twitter is for like videos, like quick clips and, you know, stuff like that. But Instagram is just for quick pictures, quick info. The customer
base on Instagram is more likely to double tap a picture because it's so fast. Whereas the tiny little button on Twitter, that the heart button or whatever, I think it's just a comfortability thing. And nobody, like, you're scrolling through Twitter, they might like your stuff, but they're not going to hit the button because it's not as intuitive as how fast and easy Instagram is.
Dude, I saw a cool thing on Instagram yesterday. It had 4 gaming systems. It had a PS1, PS2, 3, and then the 4. And it was like double tap your favorite system. I was like, oh, you sneaky bitches.
Yeah.
Because if you double tap it, you like the picture, right?
Yeah, and I'm probably going to get into a little bit of that because that's, you know, it pays to get interaction, and by pays I mean it's just a visibility thing, and the more interaction you get on your posts, the more likely your posts are going to show up on other people's pages because, you know, say someone's following 1,100 people, well, there's not a 1,100 spots on their page. It's only going to show the most appropriate, and so the more likes and stuff you get. So that's why if you're following us on Instagram or Twitter, please feel free to click likes on our stuff. If you don't like it, don't. But, you know, try to be a little bit more interactive with us. We got YouTube on both Team Emar Gaming and the Backlog Pod, and we're putting out some funny stuff. And you know, I'm a Game of Thrones fan. Tonight's the last episode ever of Game of Thrones, so I'm putting out different things there. But okay, so FitXR, I don't want to dive into Game of Thrones yet, but I do want to say tomorrow night we're going to be doing a follow-up episode for the series, and we're going to get a couple of folks. I got my brother-in-law and some friends, and Joe's got Eddie Ryan.
That's the thing, man. We got Eddie Ryan wants to get on. He is dead.
Yeah, 7:30 tomorrow night, man. Eastern. Get him on 7:30.
I just don't know how to get him on. Like,
well, 7:30 tomorrow Eastern. We'll do it, and I've got
I don't know how to get him on. He's not going to be able to come to the house.
Does he have Facebook?
No, we don't. Eddie Ryan lives off the grid, bro.
Oh shit.
The only reason you're going to know Eddie Ryan is because of me. Off the grid, son.
I've seen him posting on Twitter.
Shut up. No, you haven't. Yes, you have. Just kidding.
I have.
Nah, he's on Twitter. He does not do Facebook, though.
Maybe he'll create just a fake account just for this. Maybe he can make that. Because if he can get that on his phone, well, he probably won't want to put it on his phone. I don't know. Some people just really don't like that. For those of you who are podcasting and are wondering what the best apps are to like stream and stuff. We've been tearing our heads apart trying to figure it out. And today we just were like, let's do a video call on Facebook. And this is the clearest and best video and audio we've had thus far. So we're going to try that. I don't know if it does groups, but I'll look into that. But Joe, last thing about that topic of people coming on and getting different viewpoints. Remember a little game called PokemonGo?
Yeah, bro, I'm ready to get back in it. Shit.
Well, I have some friends through my wife, Crystal, and it's Lauda and Sasha. They are full-time...
That sounds like some made-up shit, but go ahead.
No. They're real deal.
Yada and Sasha?
No, it's Lauda. Laura, but she's from Puerto Rico, man. Lauda. We call her Lauda.
Laura.
Get louder. Get louder. So,
Okay.
but these two girls are awesome, and they are full-time invested in the experience of Pokemon Go. And I was talking to them today about it. When I say full-time invested, I mean, they, just like if you were a regular at a bar or had go to the gym every night or whatever, they get together with people and they do outings and hiking trips and all sorts of things. It's a world and an experience that a lot of people are a part of, but a lot of people don't know anything about. And knowing that you were so heavy into Pokemon Go for quite some time, and we played it on our end, I thought, they were telling me about it. I said, this is a story that we need to have you talk about on the podcast, because Joe would love it.
Yeah.
They've added PvP into the game, and they've added events and all sorts of things. They've completely changed the game since you've been in it. So
I was playing it about 6 months ago with Eddie Ryan, because we got back into it again.
Yeah.
So are you talking about the arenas, right? Or the gyms?
Nope. I believe that they've added, and I don't know enough. That's why I want to get them on. But they've added a new element recently with PvP. And
really?
I might be talking on my ass, and maybe we got to get them on to correct me. But no, they were saying that there's a lot more that's just recent that's pulling them back into it. And Lauda's been playing a little bit of this Animal Crossing on the phone, which I love me some Animal Crossing back in the day, man. Me and my wife played the hell out of that on the Wii. And some of these phone adaptations of games.
Eddie Ryan's wife's a big Animal Crossing person.
Oh boy, let her know. Let her know about the new one on the phone. But yeah, we're gonna get them on, and Sasha's really close with some of the admins of some of these Discords that do Pokemon Go, and she was saying that she might even be able to get some of the pros, the top tier players and stuff on the podcast for us to chat with them a little bit. I'd love to hear it, because we talk a lot about Call of Duty and Fortnite and these first-person shooters, but there are so many different types of games. I mean, World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Pokemon Go is the shit. It's just
think about how many people lost a ton of weight just because of that game. I remember when it came out, going down, what was that street? That main road, we had Route 3 right up there in Maryland, and then there was that one road going up towards my place. You could go up towards John Hopkins. Was it John Hopkins?
Johns Hopkins, yep.
Yeah,
and make
Johns
a right
Hopkins, right? And
go that way.
Yeah, that John Hopkins road, right? Every time I come back from work, you just see these kids out of shape, sweatpants on, with their phones out,
playing Pokemon Go.
Man. That game got people out of their seats, and that's a good thing.
So me and Eddie Ryan worked together, and we went to EKU campus, and we would do this loop, and the loop's like maybe a half-mile loop, and there's probably 25 Pokestops in that half-mile loop. But man, when there's an event going on, we went downtown. It was like a Saturday, I think. Went downtown EKU. Dude, had to have been 400 people out there, if not more, all playing Pokemon Go, trying to get this damn Mewtwo or something. I'm not even a Pokemon fan, but the game's fun as hell.
Were you with me when we went to Six Flags? We were running around Six Flags trying to get them?
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I think maybe it was just me and Jagger and I don't know who it was, but we were running. I mean, some of these stops, man, like you said, the Mewtwo one, you're gonna go there. There'll be a lot of people there.
Man, they'll drop that damn lure. Shit.
And that's
500 people show up.
That's what Sasha and Lauda were telling me about today, was that they're part of the group that gets those people there. The 500 people are there because there's groups that are talking about it, and they're the first people there. So they schedule their lives around it.
We showed up to a place. We showed up to a I forgot. I think it was like a level 4 or 5-star or whatever it was event, and there was like 9 of us there. And out of nowhere, man, this person would call this person, and then this person would show up, and they'd call 2 more people. Yep. And then I was looking around. And I got my phone. I'm playing on my phone. Eddie is on his phone, and this chick shows up with two iPhones and a laptop, or I mean, a iPad.
She ain't
I'm
fucking
like,
around.
what is she doing? Yo, she showed up with 3 devices, and she's over there slinging Pokeballs. I'm like, oh my god, like this whole nother level, man.
It
Whole
is.
nother fucking level.
Everything you do in this world, there's someone doing it way more seriously.
More serious, bro.
So it's cool. I'd love to get into that. We've been working or trying to work with some of the. We talk a lot about products and stuff that we like, the Lucid Sound and all that stuff. I see Joe's wearing his right now. But then there's also products we use we don't really talk about much, like our microphones or the computers and things like that. Well, all these different companies have PR contacts, and all those PR contacts have resources and things. And we're just doing our part. We're small. What we call ourselves. I like to say we're small pickles on a big sub. But pickles taste really good, and they're really strong.
Damn right they do.
Right, and Joe's pickle tastes pretty good. My pickle is all right. It's a little sour.
A little sour.
But but at the end of the day, also there's companies like Ubisoft and EA and Bethesda, and we're trying to get in with them too because we want to be able to provide you details on games, and that's what we're here for, right? The best games. What should you be playing? What about games from 5 years ago? Should you be playing any of those? We're here to talk you through all that. And so we're working on contacts in those realms so that we can tell you what's coming, what to be prepared for. And we can all do our own research, but when you have the beat because you're part of a PR packet, and we're getting there. We have a couple of them. We tell you about them when we do. But Joe, what did we get in Fortnite? What's one of those things that they what do they call those things?
I don't know, man. We may not be small pickles anymore. We may be, bigger pickles.
Bigger pickles.
We got it's a Fortnite creator code. No big deal.
What's a Fortnite creator code?
It's something you use and helps two dads out.
Yep.
Helps pay the bills.
Helps pay the bills. Hey, we made $1. I think some of that was yours.
Have we made $1? Woohoo!
We have, but I think
no party.
I think 50 cents of that was your
Me
purchase.
And 50 cents was you? Yeah, I kind of figured.
No, so we got a creator code. It's code Backlog. All right, when you go to Fortnite, and you got to remember to redo it. I guess every 30 days or something to clear it out.
Every 30 days. I don't know why I guess they do that just for the fact that there's multiple creators out there. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's really not. Tufu has it, Ninja has it. Hey, we have one.
We have one too,
saying.
just like them. We're on the same playing
Just like
field.
Ninja, he's got
Just
his
like
own.
Ninja.
Shit, we got our own. No big deal.
Yeah.
But use ours. Don't use Ninja's. He's made enough money.
He made enough money.
Enough money.
And for those, we also got an Amazon Tufu. I love that. Not Tifu, Tufu. We got
Tufu, bro.
We got ourselves, an Amazon, not affiliate. What's it called? An associate.
Associate account.
And you got to understand that this it might come across as we're asking you for money and stuff. It's not really about that. It's about keeping this thing alive and making it worthwhile. I've spent God knows how much on the podcast just because it's fun and it's an experience and stuff. But we're turning this from a hobby to a more serious thing, and part of that there's costs in some of this stuff. So advertising. We're doing advertising a little bit here on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and getting some good feedback. I threw out a code Backlog thing, and I threw out just a episode 54 ad just to let people know we're out there. And while they're not getting clicks, they're getting views. They're getting
it's not about asking for the money. It's just about we got to have help, just like everybody else had help at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right. And it's tough, man. It's tough to. There's no real avenues to get yourself out there. The big dogs don't reply to you because you're not big enough for them to stop, and they're probably getting 10,000 people hitting them up. The medium dogs, are fighting the same battle. They're trying to not be medium dogs. They want to be big dogs. So we're working on it.
I'm just trying to get on the porch, man.
That's right. That's right. Hey,
I'm not even trying to get in the house. I just want to get on the porch.
You're right now. You're outside the fence.
Shit, we ain't even on the road yet. We still in the pound, son.
We're in the pound. Well, they gave us the key. We're in the pound. We got the key, and now we got to figure out how to use that key. And code backlog is.
You got no damn thumbs.
Yeah, that's right. We can't turn the key. We got the key. Don't know how to fucking use it. We're using it on ourselves. Joe spent $10. We got 5 cents out of that. I spent $10. I got 5 cents. Now we're up to 90 cents. And,
shit, we're good.
And we're good. Same with the podcast. You hear the ads. We're adding one more, and we're also doing mid rolls. We got the Thornvale podcast working with us. They're playing our 30-second reel over there on theirs, and we got their 30-second reel on ours. If you're a podcaster and you're listening to this podcast, reach out. I mean, we might be willing to do it if it fits. The Thornvale podcast is a group of people doing this like almost like D&D live, and it's interesting. It's something I didn't even consider, but just like what we do here, I still can't get people to understand why people watch other people play video games. So I know there's a market for it. They put a hell of a lot of time and effort into their podcast.
I was doing this before that shit was even going, man. Like,
yeah, you were.
Like Final Fantasy. I think it was, golly, what game was it? Which one? Like, it was on PS1.
The Fantasy Star there, online, or?
No, just regular PS1 Final Fantasy, console. I could watch Adam play and I bet I've watched him put 300-400 hours into Final Fantasy, and I've never even touched the controller. And what I did when I was a kid, watching him play, is the exact same thing that everybody else is doing now, except they just do it from their living room. So it's nothing new.
There's 50 different reasons why, right? You might be watching somebody because you want to get the understanding of a game. You might be watching someone because of the personality behind it. You might be watching it in awe of how
I just
good
don't
they
like
are.
those games. I don't like Final Fantasy. I don't like playing them.
But you like watching them?
I like watching them because in those games there's certain things you can miss.
Yeah.
Like if you're going through somewhere and you miss something, well, I'm going to find it. And you can ask Adam. I can find shit in a game, but not necessarily. I don't like playing it. Like God of War, man, I can play it and watch it for hours because it's just one of the games I do enjoy. And if I don't like playing it, I can watch you all day.
Yep, that's a game coming up on my stream. I'm going to be playing that one through once I'm all set up and ready to go.
What's that, God of War?
Yeah, a little hint into what's going to be going on over on the Backlog channel. So Joe's got his sniping sessions every night on Team Emar Gaming on Twitch. Go ahead and add us. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but add the Backlog pod. And I'm setting up a show. It's going to be an entertainment thing. I'm not the best, I joke around, but I'm not. I cannot compete with professional level players, so you're not going to be watching me for that. But I'm going to be integrating some entertainment into online gaming, and all I can say is I'm putting myself out there. Whether you laugh or like it or not, I'm still doing it, and I'm going to give Joe a little taste.
Hey man, like I always said, if it feels good, do it.
I'm going to give Joe a little taste. You all won't be able to see this, but I got myself one of the characters coming out. And I don't even know how not to be this character when I put these teeth in. I don't know if you understand this, Joe. But the second teeth go in, I can't even get to my normal voice. It just doesn't happen, okay? And so, this is Jimmy T, and Jimmy T is going to be playing some video games. You understand?
You're so stupid.
But you understand what I'm saying, Joe. That's worth it. That's worth it to tune into, I think. I think. I'd tune into that. And so, Jimmy T don't like Kevin Lane so much. And that's going to be part of the show, folks. You're going to have to tune in to understand what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Jimmy T and Kevin Lane going to have a little riff. And so when Kevin Lane's playing, we might see some sabotage. We might see all sorts of shit that could happen when you're one man with 18 minds and time and money to, spill on the stupid shit. So anyways, I got to tell you real quick, Joe. I know I'm talking like a million miles a second here, but last night I had one of the funnest things that I've ever done, or been a part of, and there's a lot of these memories, right, of going to a concert or whatever. But last night, my boy Adam, we're gonna get him on the show too. Damn, I forgot to tell you, my boy Adam, he was the DJ for our wedding, and me and Crystal, and Adam is one of the most he has music on his mind, is the best way I can put it, all the time. The guy's willing to spend his entire life navigating different bands and going to shows that you will never even get tickets to. He's been to some of the most amazing shows in the world. He travels from Florida to New York to make it happen. He's toured with bands, Cheap Trick and things like that. And he's got me he has shoeboxes upon shoeboxes of tickets of every week he's going to shows, right? And so for him, it's just another event. But every one of them, the guy can remember who he was with, going back to high school, the date. It's like he's a database of knowledge. He doesn't need to go back and look. He can tell you about all these. Oh man, I saw Kiss on a Thursday night. Oh, my friend was with me, and it was the best. But he's seen Kiss 80-something times, but he can remember that one time, and he remembers the set list and everything. So he's got me. We've gone to some shows together. We've been to Twisted Sister together, which phenomenal, right? He went with my wife to Weird Al Yankovic. I've seen Weird Al Yankovic on my own, differently outside of seeing Adam, but with Adam. We've been to Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, that's awesome.
But prior to last night was one of my funnest experiences. It's still up there. It's still number 2. We saw the Dan Band, which is who we saw last night again. It was the second show to see the Dan Band. And then we saw Spinal Tap together. Spinal Tap, the movie. I don't know if you know who Spinal Tap is or if you've ever seen the movie Spinal Tap, but iconic movie with Harry Shearer, Michael Mcewan, and I forget the other guy's name right now off the top of my head, but he was the guy who had 6 fingers in Princess Bride, right? The Inigo Montoya, You Killed My Father, Prepare to Die, that guy. And so
I can't think of his name.
Harry Shearer is the Simpsons, the voice of most of the characters in the Simpsons. And then Michael Mcewan is very well known. He was on like Saturday Night Live, and if you're familiar with what's the latest thing he's been on was Better Call Saul, and he's Saul's older brother in that show. They're all famous. They did a movie. It was a joke movie, like Spinal Tap, that turned into a tour. They did a tour when they were younger, playing the musical instruments and singing the songs that they did in the movie. And then it resulted in now they're older. I mean, this was like way back, and now they're back in the 80s, and now they're old men, and then they still went on tour. Adam got me tickets to that. We went, and it was fucking amazing. Well, last night, we had front row seats at the Dan Band in Orlando, over at the Hard Rock. And the Dan Band, again, like I said, we already went there. I've already seen him live. I already knew what to expect. But for some reason, last night's show was just a bit more, partially because we were front row. And he did a lot more interaction with the crowd. This guy's a half comedy act, half song, singing songs. His band has been in The Hangover. It's been in Starsky and Hutch, and it's been in, what was the other one? Old School. That's where they got started, was in Old School.
Like playing in the movie or on the soundtrack?
In the movie, do you remember the movie Old School?
Yeah.
Okay.
With Will Ferrell and all those guys? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a part where I think Will Ferrell had just gotten married or something, and they were at the reception. It's the band playing during the reception. And the song, every now and then I get a little bit lonely just to see that fucking look in your eye. And everyone's looking around like, what the hell is that? That band. They've been in a couple movies doing the same type of gimmick where they're swearing and stuff in songs. But they do all like 80s type songs. A lot of the songs are like female lead singers. So the whole time he's talking, singing, I touch myself and blah, blah, blah. And he's got 2 guys in suits, 3-piece suits, like behind him, doing the dancing and stuff. And they're all hilarious. The timing, the way that this guy sings and he puts his songs together, his timing is really impeccable. And he can, he does a lot of the gestures like Michael Jackson and stuff. He's fucking hilarious. And so he walks through the crowd and he interacts, asks people their names. And within a millisecond, he's got a rap or a song about these people. But he'll just look at him and be like, look at you with your fucking perfect jaw and your outline, and stand the fuck up so I can punch you in the face. And he's singing this the whole time. And it's hilarious, He walks up to a guy and he's like 2 feet from him. This guy probably 4 feet down from me. And the guy's a big dude and he's just like, hey, pussy. And the guy's sitting there, right? Oh, fuck. And he's like, stand up. The guy stands up and he's like, I don't really think you're a pussy. I just like saying that to you because you can't do shit about it. And the guy's just like, oh man. And he's like, I'm going to get you up on stage later. Don't you worry. Sit back down. And then, he starts walking and he turns around, points to the guy and he's like, no, come with me. And the guy stands up and he's like, sit down. Just a lot of like improv stuff, right? Fucking with people. Well, I knew. I'm sitting right there in the front row, and I was on a corner seat, and he kept looking over at me, and I said to Crystal, "You know we're fucked, right? You know I'm getting in this show." And so we both had a triple Bacardi. I had a triple Captain. She had a triple Bacardi, and I'm just drinking. I'm probably a third of the way through it, and he starts making a beeline to me, and I'm like, "Fuck, okay." I was a little loopy because I don't sleep much and I don't drink much anymore. He sees the tattoo on my arm of a star, and he's already got his rap going on in his head about me, my bald head, and my star, and all that. I thought he said scar, okay, because I had just got surgery a couple months ago, and I've had this star on my arm for so long I forget it's even there. So he said, "Look at you with that star on your arm," and he's walking over to me as he says that. I moved to like show him my elbow with the scar on it. Like, how the fuck did he see that, you know? And he bumps me, and I spill my drink all over his fucking shoes. Full drink, all over this guy's Converses, right?
Oh,
and the
man.
whole crowd is like, "Oh shit!" And he stops and he looks at me, and he's like, immediately. I mean, this was half the time he's singing, you're thinking the people he's talking to are in on it. I wasn't in on this shit. I spilled my drink on his shoes. And within 2 seconds, he's singing a song about how I need to have a Zima and how, get me another Zima. And he's never washed his shoes before. And now I just washed them for him and he doesn't have to wash them anymore. And, I'm over here apologizing and he's telling me it's all good. But he's singing to me while he's doing this. And it was like a 5-minute bit of him and I going back and forth. And he kept putting them, "Tell me about yourself. What's your name?" And I'm Kevin. "What were you drinking?" I'm like, "A triple Captain," and he's like, "Oh yeah, bullshit, triple. Yeah, I spilled my drink. I'm drinking a triple." And he's ragging on me, and the crowd's going nuts. And so then he's like, "No, really, what was in there?" And he's like, "It was brown. What was it?" And I said, "That was brown Zima." And he's like, the whole crowd went fucking nuts, right? Because his Zima's part of his whole intro bit and everything. And so the crowd's laughing. And I said, he goes, "Sing a little song about it." And his band's the whole time he's doing all this talking to the crowd, the band is playing just a riff, And so I'm like, all right, give me a second. And I'm waiting for the beat. And I'm like, brown Zima. Then he starts singing a song about brown Zima, and like that's just part of his fucking show. And so the rest of the night, I was part of his show because every time he was getting into something with somebody, he's going down the line. "Oh, what about that CJ over there and this guy? And oh, watch out for that fucking drunk man over there. He's gonna spill his drink on your fucking shoes." And I got the free refill. So he's in the middle of singing. He's like pointing at me like, "Yeah, you got your drink. Oh yeah, get drunk." It was just such a cool experience to be in it and part of it. And to these guys aren't famous, right? They're semi-famous. But they put the work in. And I don't know. I know it was a long little story here I want to tell you about, but if you haven't heard of the damn band, go out. I love seeing people who work, right? The guy's got a skill set not many people have of being able to ad-lib and riff instant and make it an entertaining thing. And so if you haven't heard of them, go check them out. The Dan Band is worth your time, at least a YouTube video here or there. If I can get them 10 extra views, it's worth it because those guys put a lot of time into their shows. And if you ever see them around, you're wondering, would you like it? I'm going to tell you right now, you'll have a hoot. You'll have a really good time. So check them out. Joe, I've talked your ear off. What you got?
I'm good, man. I think we talked about everything we need to talk about earlier. The gaming and the...
What was that thing you talked about right before I talked about the Brown Zima? Was it the creator code?
Yeah, man. Backlog
creator code. We talked about the spy. We talked about code backlog. We talked about game reviews. Joe, tell us about that chair. Tell us about that Lucid Sound. You got to get those in there.
Man, Noble Chairs. Send me a chair. Not bad.
I'm looking at it, folks.
Comfortable.
It looks good.
It's right behind my head. Boom, right there.
Next week. I'm going to try to get next week. I want you all to see this chair.
It's nice, man.
Have you done your video yet? You done your video yet?
No, man. I've been so busy. I hadn't had time to do a video yet.
I'm with you.
I need to get a video done, though. But it's comfortable, man. I was skeptical about it at first because the way it looked so big and so bulky. It's actually not. It's actually pretty comfortable.
These chairs are heavy.
Not a game.
They're heavier than they look. When I need to move
they're
mine,
heavy as shit. Yeah. I about broke my foot the other day rolling this sumbitch across the floor.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, but like I said a couple weeks ago, man, it's furniture. This ain't no chair. It's a piece of furniture.
Yeah, they shouldn't be called chair. They should be called gaming like fucking concrete.
Yep.
they're heavy, man.
I went ahead and I had to purchase some new wheels for my chair because I had like rollerblade wheels, which I don't know if you have a hard time rolling around your room. Think about this, folks. You're in your computer chair a lot of the day, especially if you're like me, you work from home. Make it right. Make it comfortable. Noble Chairs is got a comfortable chair. I went ahead and I already had these like rollerblade wheels. I didn't even ever put on the Secret Lab wheels, right? And I think I chucked them, which I shouldn't have because they're probably $40-$50 wheels. And so the house I'm living at now, these rollerblade wheels are good on tile. You can slide across the whole damn room, but they can't move on plush carpet. And so I've gone through probably $150 worth of those stupid plastic things that you sit on the floor. I hate them, but you know, to stabilize your chair. And the rollerblade wheels are just too sharp, and the chair is too heavy. So I went ahead and I'm going to have them, I think, tomorrow or the next day. But I'm going to have these 4-inch wheels for my chair, 5 4-inch wheels to put them up, and I guess they navigate around on the carpet. But
yeah, mine's about the same though. Like these wheels are kind of small, but they go really good on the tile hardwood floor, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
But
are you on tile or hardwood where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not bad at all, man. I like it. But yeah, other than that, man, Lucid Sound still hooking us up.
Yep.
I got a good code. Team EMAR, 20% off.
Did you see the new ads on the site?
Yeah, man. Pimp.
Yep.
Capital.
I should have done that months ago, but I finally did. If you're browsing the website, if you ever forget what Joe's saying here, just go to thebacklogpod.com, and about midway down the page, or all the way at the bottom as well, you'll see the code and a link to Lucid Sound. They're going to be Joe's pushing these guys because he means it, but now they're recognizing Joe as well. They're working with him.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've had Turtle Beaches. I've had, you name them, I've had them. Because, I mean, I've been gaming for 20 years. Lucid Sound is probably the best headset I've had. I've broken numerous plastic Turtle Beaches. You sit on them, or they're just plastic.
Remember my unboxing video?
Yeah,
so I did a long unboxing video. If you haven't checked it out, the Backlog Pod on YouTube, and that's my highest watched video on YouTube. Well, just the other day, I finally did my recording on the all-encompassing regular guy. I'm not an audiophile or anything like that, and I put side by side 5 different pairs of headphones, and I talked about the pros and cons of each of them. And if I have 5 sets of headphones in front of me, I'm going to pick up the ones that are best to wear. I'm not getting paid to do that. And so the best ones out of the 5, and I got Astro A50s, I got Turtle Beach Elite 800s, which are still $300 on the shelf, and I got Sennheisers, which those are pretty damn good too, but they don't have a microphone. And then you got perfect for gaming, perfect for what we do, and that is the Lucid Sound. And I got the 42s, 40 whatever they are.
You got the LS41s.
Yeah, LS41s. But I mean, damn, just like Joe said, I've been gaming all my life, and I've never felt like it mattered too much.
I had LS20s. I started out with the LS20s because they're $100.
Yep.
I started out with them. I use them for the podcast. I use them when I listen to music. When I mow the yard, I put them on, listen to music with them. They're phenomenal. And I use my LS31s for gaming. So
I would say
worth it, man. They're worth
on the
money.
Turtle Beaches that I have Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth connection's really good on those Turtle Beaches. So I could have the Bluetooth connected while Wi-Fi and be playing a game and also have my phone audio coming through the headset. I loved that. That's one thing about the Turtle Beaches that some of the other headsets don't have. And but we're talking about, that's a secondary thing. The point of the headset's the gaming and the crystal clear audio, and you and I playing on Fortnite. Do you remember how many times while we're playing before 6 months ago, I'm going, what? Can't hear you. What? Speak up. Is your mic on?
Dude,
blah blah blah.
Garbage.
And now it's like just this back and forth crystal clear. What's funny is you don't even recognize it till it's over, and you're like, wow, we didn't have any problems. So Joe talks about a lot. I talk about a lot. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions. Joe's better at answering those questions than me. You can hit him up on what's your Twitter handle?
And Team EMAR Gaming, son.
What's your Instagram handle?
Team EMAR Gaming, son.
What's that email address you got? teamemargaming@gmail.com. You have that one?
Oh yeah, that's the one.
And
Hit
so,
me up.
website
I got a
teamingmargaming.com.
Facebook. I got a Facebook account too, man. It's
Yeah.
Facebook.com/TeamingMarkGaming. I'm on there as well.
Nice. So we got a lot of stuff going on there, and long story short, just don't hesitate, reach out. We got so many different channels. There's too many to list. There's a good website out there called bio.fm. It's the best way, in my opinion, to see all of our stuff. bio.fm/the Backlog Pod. It's basically a profile with links. We had another one called Linktree. Linktree is linktr.ee/the Backlog Pod. Similar thing, right? We get to put in all the links we want you to see, so we don't have to go through them all because there's so many now. But the BioFM one is actually pretty cool. Joe, you should make one for Team Emar because we can put clips in from YouTube and all sorts of things in there. So it's like a little tiny profile page of what we want you to see. And if you keep track of that, you'll always have our latest links. So I think that's about it. I'm 17 minutes late on a Game of Thrones. That's the last Game of Thrones ever. And,
yeah, man, you better get at it.
I'm gonna get at it, and I'm gonna go edit this podcast afterwards. And I think next week we're gonna be able to do live, man. This was crystal clear with this Facebook.
Yeah, there's no problem with this. I like
good.
it. I mean, Facebook's where it's at. Messenger's crisp, man. It's crisp.
Yeah. I do want to ask you.
Matches, video's good.
Talk to Eddie Ryan. See if we can get him on tomorrow night, 7:30. I'm telling people. And if you're available tomorrow, 7:30, Joe, I'd like to have you on. I know you don't watch Game of Thrones, but it'll be a good episode. We're going to talk about the results of the finale tonight, who's on the throne, but more along the lines of the story as a whole, what kind of happened from a writing standpoint, and why there's if you go on IMDb, you're going to see that this is the worst season ever. Why is that? We want to talk about that a bit, because even as the worst season ever from a statistical standpoint, it's still some of the best television you'll ever see, regardless. I mean, you can nitpick it all you want. Visually, it's amazing. Story-wise, it's amazing. It's just when you have a full cake with all the frosting, and you get that for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 7 years, and then all of a sudden you get cake with just a couple chocolate chips on it. Doesn't mean the cake's still bad. It's just not as good as all the frosting. So that's my take on it, and I hope after tonight I have a different feeling. I hope I feel fulfilled. We'll see, and we'll talk about it tomorrow night.
All right, man. Y'all have fun with that Game of Thrones.
Hell yeah. We've already talked about all the links, but we haven't done this in a while, Joe. What do you think that is?
With you, it's untelling.
I know. But with me, I'm Kevin.
I'm Joe.
And this is
the Backlog
Podcast.
There you go, bro. I thought you was going to say it.
I had to think.
Yeah, the look on your face was priceless. You were like, a podcast.
Joel Rubel, Kevin Lane.
Doing my thing, being Joe. La 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 da.
And we're going to finish it off with a little song by Joe.
Dee-da-da, dee-da-da, boom, boom. La 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 da, la da da da. Dee-da-da, dee-da-da, boom, boom. How crazy is that?
Pretty crazy, Joe. Oh, shit. This was good stuff, man. You take care of yourself, and I'll be talking to you tomorrow, man.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Later.